Back in December 2023, Universal Studios confirmed that it was looking to build a theme park and resort in the UK. At the time, they published a website to update local residents of their plans, including outlining the land that they owned and that they were looking to develop. They also stated that the decision hadn't yet been made and feasibility studies were underway to make sure the conditions were adequate and the land and surrounding infrastructure were suitable, so the site was the perfect next location for a Universal Studios resort. As part of the update, a letter to local residents was published, which stated that it would be many months before they decided whether or not to proceed with the project. That's pretty vague terminology. Exactly how long is many months anyway? Well, a couple is 2, a few is 3, several is 4 to 7, which means many is at least 8 months. But not more than 11, because then they'd be more likely to say a year. But is that too specific? Many was likely chosen for a reason. Am I looking too deeply into this? Maybe. Is it a bit sad? Yes. As it's still incredibly early days in this project, news isn't coming particularly thick, and it definitely isn't coming fast. But it is still dribbling through, perhaps even more so than we realise, like semi-confirmation as to when we're likely to hear about whether or not Universal plans to proceed with the Universal Studios Great Britain project. So that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. But before we dive in, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm only a tiny little channel and subscribing will really help it to grow so I can continue posting regular updates. Have you done it yet? No? Well, let's crack on anyway then. Yes, Universal themselves have been coy about confirming any type of timeframes. They need to make sure that they don't overpromise anything in the event that delays are caused by one reason or another. According to Area Development, a feasibility study takes 60 to 90 days. But going by the size of the land and the potential scope of this project, this could take longer. And it is possible that the study started in late 2023, so by now they might have the majority of it completed, or maybe even all of it completed. We just don't know. Most of us aren't privy to this kind of information, but that means that a few are. And we know that the Mayor of Bedford and local councillors have been meeting with Universal from as far back as May 2023. So these few local representatives have more insight than the majority. And it's likely that anyone attending these meetings will have signed an NDA, so they can't speak freely about what's discussed. But that doesn't mean that the odd tidbit still doesn't slip through the cracks. Take the Spring 2024 edition of the Stewartby and Kempston Hardwick Parish Council newsletter, for example. And looking at the cover, they're certainly not shying away from the news that Universal are thinking about moving into town. Well, village. Stewartby and Kempston Hardwick are tiny. In the newsletter, the chairman has written a report which includes one very interesting piece of information on timelines. I would expect to hear no news on this until the autumn of this year. The autumn of this year. The autumn. This is our first bit of semi-confirmation on when we're likely to hear more news about the next steps of this project from someone who was present in those meetings. That means in September, October or November 2024, we're likely to hear about whether or not Universal wants to go ahead with planning and building a resort. And as I make this video, it's March, which means in as little as 6 months, we might know some more information. That's exciting, isn't it? In a local newspaper, the Mayor of Bedford was recently quoted as saying, "Everything is proceeding at tremendous pace." Tremendous pace, that seems pretty optimistic, so maybe we'll see something during the earlier parts of this autumn. Hopefully so. And something else in the Stewartby newsletter, the Home of Production, a film and television studio that was planned and approved for the nearby Quest Pit site, about half a kilometre from the land owned by Universal, is no longer going ahead after the developers pulled out. That means there's another 36 plus acres of land potentially available, which is more than enough room for a couple of resorts just a short bus ride away. Let's watch this space on that one. So there we are. In the autumn of 2024, we're likely to hear more from Universal themselves about their plans for this potential resort in Kempston Hardwicke. Let's just hope they find the answers we're all hoping they do and get a big old thumbs up that this resort can go ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for all the latest news, rumours and updates on the Universal Studios Great Britain project. See you next time.